Oh.
Alright, gang. Let me make sure the stream's working over here. Alright, let's get it. We want to get it. Alright. Alright, we're gonna hop into this. First thing we're gonna get started here is let's hop into NVDA. Actually, let's go into hold on here. Hmm. Alright, let's go ahead and chart Tesla. Okay. Let's pull out to the 1 daily chart here. Let's do some technical analysis. Okay. Broke above this downward trend line. Coming back here on the retest. Looks like yesterday closed and held it with 3 days down. We do have a small gap up here. Needs to be filled. But we're going to go ahead and start on the weekly. Work our way down. Turn up the music a little bit. Should be good. Hmm. Into the 4 hour, actually into the daily we need. Don't really see nothing significant on the daily. Yeah, I'll hop into the 4 hour. Have a rally. Whole bunch of consolidation in this area right here. Another rally. This 4 hour important zone right here is what I'm looking for. If we can get a push back down to Tesla into 234.26 area. So we do have a little 4 hour zone up here, 3 hour, 2 hour zone, 246, a little gap end. I don't even consider this a gap, honestly. It's a good area for take profits on longs. So I'm going to leave it on the charts. I don't know. Go ahead and find out. I don't know. Go ahead and find out. All right. I don't see any other levels here in the 3 hour. We're gonna knock it down to the 2 hour chart. Hopefully. Yeah, that 2 hour zone right here at 246.77 is key. And for today's action, this 5 minute zone is still rejecting. Such a small zone, but it's rejected 3 times. Once here, once here. And once yesterday during the open. As far as 2 hour levels, supply and demand levels go, don't really have. Two hours, don't really have anything significant. Hop down to a 90-minute chart. We have a big drop, a base right here, and a drop. This might be a zone right here. Since we dropped, we based out above this demand. We based here and then it continued by a drop. Thing is, I'm not gonna mark this zone, even though it did hit. If we draw a line here, it did hit here yesterday. So, could be a 90-minute zone. I only like it because it made a lower low. The price could not sustain that lower low and got bought up. So we can mark this little level 90-minute. Show those on the right. So he made that little zone. Honestly, we can change this whole 5-minute zone to a 90-minute zone. Figure out the open of this candle. 241.16, 241.16. We're gonna get rid of the 5-minute zone. 241.24. That looks a little better. This 30-minute zone we'll get back into and see.
Searching for the best flower delivery in Roanoke? We've got you covered. Stunning floral arrangements from George's Flowers always say it best. Fresh flowers hand-delivered with a smile. Order at George's.
All right. See any 1-hour zones? Let's change this to a dotted because it's inside of another zone. Really interested in this 4-hour zone down here, 234.26. I think if Tesla can stay in this downtrend that it's in, we can see at 240, 234 area get triggered. This might jump up for liquidity, but we'll see. One hour zone here, not followed by the best drop, but I'll leave that zone marked. That's about it I see on Tesla. I don't see anything too significant in this area. I'm gonna hop down to a 5-minute. This 30-minute, 2 30-minute zones we had looks like they're holding. If we even pull back to a 1-hour zone, we might have a 1-hour zone here. I'm gonna go ahead and mark this area. Do 1 hour. Make it green. I'm gonna make a little box here. I'm gonna find the low here. The low of this candle is 238.74, 238.67, 67. Make it green. Now we have a little demand zone, 1-hour demand. Yesterday, price pushed up, consolidated here for 1 hour, pushed up the remainder of the day. I'll be looking for this zone. As you can see, a previous supply zone. If we go to the 30-minute chart, we had down here. We had a decent sized drop at this basing candle. Good sized drop into end of day on Thursday. Opened up on Friday. Came back into the zone, retested it once. Retested it twice on Friday. Monday we had the test in the morning, rejected and came back into demand. Then a retest and finally a breakthrough. So I'm gonna go ahead and exit this zone. Get rid of that on my charts. This is a key level. Let's pop back out to the 90-minute time frame. I don't see any demand here. Let's pop out to the 2-hour. No demand. Back into the 3-hour. No demand other than this same 15-minute zone down here. So pop to the 1-hour chart. We do have a 1-hour demand here that I'll leave. That got formed yesterday. We don't really have any viewers in here, which is pretty wild, honestly, considering. Well, we just started this, so I don't know. Let's go hop in a 30-minute or 45-minute. You see a 45-minute zone that lines up with this 15-minute zone, so I'm not going to mark it. Hop in a 30-minute zone. Go ahead and mark this. It's a 30-minute. I got that. Dash that. Okay. Looks to be good right now. I'm interested to see if this 30-minute zone holds. 240 level. 239.19 to 238.60. Hop into the 15-minute. You can see the slow grind on Tesla. And if we pull it back to the daily chart, we'll look at the volume. So these past 4 days down here, volume has been high. Not typically high, but it's been high. As you can see, the bottom. I mean, when Tesla came down from 300 to 110, the volume was substantially less until it got down to that 150, 110 area. Volume really started to ramp up. Buyers stepped in. You can see all the sellers that were taking over these candles, daily candles. Then all the buyers started coming in here. Buyers showed themselves here, was able to push price higher. Price came back down, broke the low, held below it for a day. Buyers stepped back in with volume. And then you had a big freaking push. So on the daily chart, it looks like we're basically consolidating down here. But if we go to a 15-minute chart or something, the level of Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Monday consolidation is actually insane. A 1 hour and 30-minute level as I'm watching to see if they hold today. Already in the supply zone, we'd had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tests of this 90-minute supply zone. So we'll see. It might be able to break through, and if it breaks through, I think it definitely gets some momentum up to 245 area, 246 area. But that's it for this chart. Let me actually have down to a 10-minute. And let's see. I don't know what it's even doing in pre-market. I should probably turn on pre-market. Check that out. Okay, so we broke under 30 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove that. There is a 10-minute zone right here. Which it seems to be holding in pre-market. I think if we can get above this 239.20 before the open, we could have another push up to this 241 area. But go ahead and turn that. I don't like charting with the after hours turned on. I think it messes things up a little bit. So that's it for Tesla. We're gonna go ahead and hop into NVDA. NVIDIA had an insane move, dude. Look at this setup that I totally completely missed. I mean, it came off this trend line. Yesterday it opened. And man, I missed that thing. And that's the stock itself. The price of the stock went up 6% yesterday. which is just insane. Currently trading at 524, 525 area, which is crazy. If I pull back on the daily, you can see my analysis on this thing. Basically, what I was looking out for was a rally, like what is this called? A inverse cup or a cup of handle pattern, where it dipped down. It had consecutive days down here, found some buyers, dipped back to the highs, and then consolidated in this range right here. We were able to get that break. We hit demand. I'll jump into a 30-minute chart. We hit some demand down here and took off from there. So I'm not even looking at these levels. I'll keep these levels on my chart for right now. What I'm looking at is up here and interested in up here, because I know above we just have no resistance, basically, because we're at all-time highs. So I have some weekly demand down here that was formed. As long as this week's candle can close up, nice bullish candle, hop into a 4-hour. There's a 4-hour zone down here. We can go ahead and mark that. Before this 4-hour ever triggers, there needs to be enough sellers pushing this stock down to previous resistance and previous supply, and it needs to break those levels for it to get down here. So not too worried about this one, but I will set a mark there for it. Hop into a 3-hour chart. Nothing substantial, just straight green. 2-hour chart. Same thing. 90-minute chart. Do have some consolidation here. Mark this as a 90-minute zone because we had a rally, a base, followed by another rally. So I'm going to do a 90-minute. Get green. Get our rectangle out from the top of the open, or from the open to the close. Low is 510.62. Make it green. Now we have a 90-minute zone that we can watch today if price gets back down into this level. Hop into the, make sure, yeah, it's all-time highs basically. Oh, that's crazy, man. I definitely feel a FOMO on this. Definitely. Hop into a 1-hour chart. Same thing, had some consolidation here. I will mark this as a 1-hour zone and make it a dashed line because it's indicating that it's inside another demand zone. Hop to a 45-minute. It's easy, nice and easy charting stocks when they're at all-time highs. Same thing, basically, we can mark this zone, but there's no need. This 1-hour zone is at 512.87. This 45-minute zone is at 513.10. So a 30-cent difference isn't gonna matter. That's the spread already on the video, so. Let's go for a 30-minute chart. This 30-minute chart at 517 might be a good level. Go ahead and chart that. Let's jump into a 15-minute chart and check what that looks like. So basically the same level. 517.50 and versus 517.20. I'm gonna keep this 30-minute on here. Draw a little, what are these? The low of this candle is 516.06. Make it green. Now we're coming up with our levels for the day. I'm gonna turn this red line into a 30-minute demand. Put them on the right, turn it green. Now we have a 90-minute, 1 hour, and 30-minute demand zone that was formed yesterday. We can watch if price comes back down into that zone for buyers to step in, move price out of the zone, and get long on a retest. Don't see anything substantial on these lower time frames. Just had that huge push from 495 all the way to 512, 515 in the first 30 minutes of market open. Basically in the first 10 minutes of market open. So people got squeezed up there. You can see that on a 1-minute chart. Look at how much movement on the prior day versus these huge green candles. Went straight to the upside. I'm going to turn on pre-market here and look at what the stock has been doing overnight. And you can just see it grind higher. You know, we closed at 522.50. It went to 528. We still have zones under here. So this 30-minute is the one I'll be watching out for first. It's a small zone, so the risk could be tight. $1.30 zone, $1.50 versus this 514, 512, 510, $4 zone here. So I'm interested to see what that does today. Let's turn off this pre-market. And this low-key is a 5-minute zone right here. You got a rally, a base, and a rally. I can mark it. See what price does at that level. 5-minute. It seems like these zones are getting smaller and smaller. That's 518.70 to 518.17. So that's a 50-point zone. 50 cent zone there, but I'm not going to make the rectangle right now. I'm just going to remove that, keep the line. That's NVDA. We're going to hop in. We did Tesla, NVDA. We're going to do Meta. Meta, I know in the pre-market, I saw on my phone it was dipping down. So it has some nice forming demand zones below. And it looks very clean, honestly. I'm gonna hop into a daily chart and check this out. We have no daily supply up here. If this was a basing green candle, I would mark that as supply, but it's not. We're gonna hop into a 4-hour. We do have this 4-hour zone up here, 359.70. Currently trading at 356.50 area. So right under my 30-minute zone. I don't see anything substantial on the 4-hour other than this zone here, which would probably remove it. Some of these zones we can remove. This 10-minute zone. This is a good trade I took yesterday if I would have executed. I got long literally right here. Risk below this zone. And then I stopped out right here. I'm not sure why I stopped out, but I stopped out. And I shouldn't have stopped out until my stop loss got triggered. I would have lost money. Instead, I stopped out at break even here and bought here. So could have been a good move on my part since I bought down here. Could have capitalized on a 6-point move up into high day, or into end of day. I'm gonna go ahead and remove this 10-minute zone. Hop back into the 4-hour or 3-hour. 3-hour has a zone right here that I'm kind of liking. Look at this rejection candle. I just mark it 3-hour. That is a 3-hour zone, 2-hour zone even. I like how it looks on the 3-hour. It's a nice base yesterday, and then followed by a huge 355, 358. It's a huge rally. This 3-hour looks good. I needed to go ahead and delete this 4-hour and 30-minute zone, since we did get above it. Thing is, if we start coming back down into it, it's going to be key for rejection. But I'm going to still go ahead and remove it. You can even see, like, I want to come test this top of this zone up here. I tested it right here. Tested it here. Yeah, let's see, 2-hour zones. It's already 9 o'clock. This is a good 1-hour zone right here. Very small zone, but I'll mark it 355.64 is the low. Make it green. Mark this as a 1-hour zone. It's a really small zone. It's a 30-cent zone, but if that hits and pushes up off that, then that's a good sign. It's a 1 hour zone. Let's hop into back to a 90-minute because I don't see anything substantial there. Let's go ahead and hop into a 45-minute. Let's go ahead and get rid of this zone. We hop into a 30-minute. Mark this area. Oh, not really liking that 30-minute either. I think this zone is better here. Let's go back to a 45. Had a drop yesterday morning. A rally, a base, and a rally. It's not the strongest rally candles that I would like to see, but I will mark this area. Low of this is 353.51. Make it a 45-minute. I don't like to use the 45-minute zones, honestly, but I can mark it. You can kind of see just the stair step up. Up into a 30-minute. Basically some consolidation here. That was fueled by a rally. It's 1 hour. This could be a 30-minute. I'm gonna go ahead and push this up. Right now it's at 355.92. We're gonna push it up to 356.22. I'm gonna make this a dotted line, dashed line, because it's inside another demand zone. Just keep it easier on the eyes. Go to a 15-minute.
The all-electric Cadillac Lyric, all yours. A stylish SUV that takes luxury beyond thrilling, all the way to electric. Experience yours today at Cadillac.com/lyric.
Go ahead and mark this as a 15-minute supply zone. If we get up there today, we'll know that there's resistance or supply. Possible resistance or possible supply. Make it a dashed line too. Help into a 10-minute. Now we start seeing a little 10-minute zone here. Drop, base, a drop. base and a rally. This 30-minute zone, supply zone I'm interested in. We did break out over that yesterday, so I should take it off, but currently in pre-market we're trading under it. As you can see, be interested to see. I'm done with this chart and this now. Meta, NVDA, Tesla. Let's see what Netflix is looking like. Yeah, Netflix is looking good too. Ooh, man. That pre-market drop on Netflix. We mark that as a daily zone. Honestly, this could be a daily zone. Close all the way up here at 385. A rally, a base, and a drop off this 30-minute. Yesterday we got above it. Today we're back down below it. I'm gonna keep this on my charts because we're back down below it. Obviously yesterday we broke above it. I should take it off my screens. But we're gonna see how this plays out. This daily zone is key since it is currently holding here in the pre-market. So we'll keep an eye on that. But I really want to get into SPY and QQQ. Let me do a quick analysis on this. Monday just had a straight push up, 474 to 485, and now it's back down to 475, 476 area. Interesting. gonna hop into /ES. $48.41 is the high. Looks like we're having some rejection here. Go ahead and get rid of this zone. Let's get the daily chart. Had a big push yesterday. We do have CPI coming out tomorrow, so that is key. Market may move very slow today. Don't see any 4-hour zones except down here. This is one. Mark that as a 4-hour. Let's hop into a 3-hour. Yesterday we had a lot of resistance up here and price really showed out. This is our 3-hour zone. Then on the 2-hour, hop into the 90-minute. Nothing on the 90-minute, just a straight rally yesterday. Straight rally. Had some trouble up here at 4,800. I'm not really finding any good zones on ES. No 45-minute zones either. Maybe right here there might be one. 30-minute. There's some zones. Let's go back to 45-minute. There's a zone down here. Low of this candle is 4754.5. Make it green. Change the opacity. I'm gonna mark this as a, what is this, 45 minute? If we take a Fibonacci, take it from the high of yesterday, Monday, to the low, 50% line is basically right where this 45-minute demand is. The 50% line is at, yes, 4759. That's literally the exact zone. So we want to see bulls hold this area because it's the 50% retracement from the low to the high of yesterday. So if bulls are in control, this is where they'll hold today. This 4759 area. So these were all previous levels that I need to delete. But since price is coming back down, these levels can now act as resistance. As you see, if we go to a 2-minute chart, this level up here, this 2-hour supply at 4783, it went to the very top at basically 4800. It broke out and then consolidated on top of the zone, was able to push price underneath, and then got under the zone, tested the bottom of it, popped up, and then got under it and acted as resistance, leading a move into the previous zone down below, which I don't like keeping these on my charts, honestly. Should probably take them off of here. Just because it's a lot of noise. But you can see this zone acted as resistance, pushed down into the next zone down below, back up, buyers brought it back up, sellers took over, and then pushed it down under this next zone. I wanted to go into a 45-minute chart. There are some supply areas here, like up here there's one. Even up here, the top of the zone could be considered supply. Inside of supply. Hop into a 30-minute chart since I already got this 45-minute demand out of the way here. 30-minute chart kind of shows the same thing. I can mark these areas right here as 30-minute zones and see how they react today during the open if they get triggered. So there's some 30-minute zones. I'll mark this one with a box. I'm gonna go ahead and actually get rid of this. Low of this candle is 4767.5. Make the box green. I'm going to take my Fibonacci tool and actually retrace this area from the high of yesterday to the low. The 61% Fibonacci is right at this 4770, 4769.5. So I'm going to be watching this zone. There's nothing really significant within this 30-minute zone, but I'm going to just keep that level on and make it a dashed dotted line. So I'm looking for this retracement back down in the 61.8 fib or the 50% fib. So it's basically the zones. But you can see in pre-market we're really starting to come off these highs. Yesterday we had a nice move up from about let's take a percent tool. Yesterday the open to the high 1.35% from the high to now. It's 0.59%. So I don't know. It could have just been a big sweep to grab liquidity to push the market lower. You know, we can start coming down into these other demand zones. I have so many levels up here, it's actually ridiculous. But I'm gonna keep those. All this blank space in between. I don't know. Bring this out a little bit. So we'll check on NASDAQ real quick. We did NVDA, Tesla, Meta, Netflix, SPY. Now we'll do NASDAQ. Let's see, this is the previous all-time high. So you can see yesterday we closed above the previous all-time high on NASDAQ. Today we're selling off from that. If we go to the daily chart, previous all-time high was back on November 22nd of what, I don't even know what year that is, 2021. So I don't know. We can see let's clean up these zones a little bit. Let's hop into a 15-minute to clean them up. These zones down here at the bottom, this 1 hour was broken through. I'm gonna go ahead and remove that. 90-minute, if we go to 90-minute time frame, we'll see the zone I had. Basically a drop, a base here, and based out. And then it followed by a bigger drop. And price was able to break through that yesterday. I'm gonna go ahead and remove that from my chart. I'm gonna keep this previous all-time high line on the screen. If we hop into a daily chart and take a look at it, same as SPY or ES, same formation. NASDAQ did have a huge rally yesterday with NVIDIA. You can see the levels I have for today. If you missed it earlier, I see some people are joining the stream. We have a 90-minute, a 30-minute, and basically a 5-minute zone that I'm watching right here. NVIDIA is still holding up above yesterday's highs. So I'm interested to see how these zones play out if and when price comes back down into them. But let's get back into NASDAQ and chart this out real quick. I'll go to a 4-hour chart. The thing is with these zones, like when price breaks above through them, most people or some people delete the zone. I honestly think they come into play sometimes again. So if price just runs through these zones on that retest, it might need to retest this zone to be able to gain enough buyers or gain enough traction to push it up into the next supply zone. Obviously, price came back down, consolidated, and traded around here and didn't have much volume or anything since it is the pre-market, and was able to sell off from that instead of buyers coming in. I want to get my zones perfect on NASDAQ though, because I want to make sure there's a 4-hour demand down here. I can mark that. So we have that marked down here. Let's go ahead and go 3-hour. So we do have some people join the stream. That's good. Don't see any 3-hour zones really. This might be a little supply area, but I'm not going to mark it because I don't think it's significant. I think it was a retest. This price came up to retest the previous all-time highs on NASDAQ. Failed to sustain above there. Now in the pre-market's selling off. I don't see any 2-hour zones except this one right here, which came into play yesterday. Price broke above and now has been able to get down below it. Hop into a 90-minute. Not really seeing anything significant. And with CPI coming out tomorrow, it's just like today might just be a whole chop day. I'll watch it in the first hour here of the open, and that's about to come in what, 7 minutes? So you might be able to find some plays on Netflix or Tesla or NVDA, but I'm not seeing any good zones here to mark from the rally yesterday. I mean, that was such a strong rally backed by NVIDIA that this 1-hour zone is something I'm watching though. We had a drop, a little base here, and then a drop on Tuesday morning last week. That base considers that a supply zone. Price was not able to hit it perfectly. Gonna hop into I want to see this 2-hour zone again down here that I have marked. 2-hour supply. Price could push up off this level since it broke through the supply yesterday. It's retesting it. Could push up, and if it breaks through this 2-hour zone as well, we can get that move into that 1-hour zone. But for right now, I'm going to leave these two on my charts. Let's hop into a 90-minute. I think I already went there. Nothing significant. The 1-hour chart. Yeah, we already did the 1-hour chart. We have some demand down here, 1 hour yesterday. And then hop to a 45-minute. Like I said earlier, I don't really like charting the 45-minute zones, but sometimes they work. So might as well. There is a 45-minute demand that kind of lines up with ES. I'll mark that here. And I wanted to take the Fibonacci retracement from yesterday's highs to lows and see where this 50% fib comes into play. Is below this level. Okay, so this 61.8% retracement that I'm marking right now as a demand zone. Rectangle 26, turn that to green. I want to get this done before the market opens here. Let's mark it a 45-minute zone. Make it green. I'm gonna go ahead and put the bottom of this zone right at the bottom of this candle. 16,64025. 64025. Now we have our zone there. Hop into a 30-minute real quick. I think the 30-minute might be better to mark there. So what I'll do is put 30-minute here. I'll make the 45-minute line. I'll make this zone up into, it says 16.52, so I need to change it to the open of this candle, which is 16,658. 58.25. There we go. Take this 45-minute and make a dashed dotted line because it's indicating that it's in another zone. There's demand inside of demand basically that was formed. Move these a little bit down. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of this 2-hour zone, I think. Let me look at the 15-minute chart real quick. Yeah, there's nothing really. There might be a 15-minute zone here. We can mark that. The low of this is 16612.75. That's perfect. Make that green. Make this a 15-minute zone. Make that green as well. Now we have a 15-minute demand zone caused by this huge rally, a base. Usually this rally wants to be just as big as this one, so this might not be, this might be invalidated today. Price gets down below it. Go to a 10-minute chart. Market opens up in 2 minutes. I will pull up my trading software actually. So something that you could look forward is a hold of this top of the supply, 2-hour supply from 2-3 days ago. Since I left it on my chart, since price has come back down, I figured price could actually bounce here. If it bounces here and we start getting above yesterday or the previous all-time highs, we can really see this 16,823 zone, 1-hour zone trigger up here for a long or a short off that, depending on what the market does. Again, I'm going to pull out the Fibonacci. I'm going to go from the high all the way down to the recent low. We're at the 50% retracement on that is sitting right up here by the previous all-time high. So something to look at. Sellers typically cover, not cover, but protect this 50% fib if it's in a downtrend. And so far that looks like what it's doing. So go ahead and remove that. Just watch how this plays out today. I'm going to go ahead and remove this 2-hour zone. Market opened up there. And I'm going to go ahead and in this live stream, I don't see anybody that wants to really keep it on. So I want to go see. Looks like we have all the zones that we need. SPY bouncing off that 30-minute. NASDAQ bouncing off that 30-minute. Make this Tesla. See what that's doing. NVDA still pushing high. Tesla came down off that 1 hour. Looks like it's retesting this 1 hour. I think honestly Tesla can get down to this 234 area. Right down here. I'm interested to take that short if and when price comes down below 235.80. A move into 234.35 could actually be good, beneficial. So we'll see. Video pushing down a little bit. What else? Netflix. Wondering if it can hold this daily zone. And we already got a push off that, so that's good. That would have been a really quick trade. It's in Meta. Meta pushing up off that 30-minute zone. Wow. 356 all the way up to 358 the first minute there. That's crazy. So I'm going to go ahead and end this stream and then go on with my day. So thanks for watching, guys.